Good morning, Mr. Joakim. My name is Fong Jun Kang, and today with my associate member, Ms. Alan North, we are presenting the topic of the safety of adolescents in a digital world. First of all, let us start with the background situation analysis and the problem statement first. Malaysia have the fourth largest digital native in the world in the year 2030. The population is growing and the age restarting to online daily is becoming younger due to increasing popularity of online gaming, social networks, and digital entertainment consumption. But with increasing adoption of digital devices among adolescents, the arising of the social problem have negatively impacted the safety of children in physical and digital world. Worst case, we are foreseeing the problem will continue harming the physical and emotional development of adolescents. Well, based on the official statistic, cyber incidence rates is increasing year by year. Mostly is involved information-related social media platforms and P2P networks areas. Although the government of Malaysia have enacted several rules and laws to protect the adolescents, however, the awareness of the consciousness of audiences are considerably low in practicing protection mechanisms to avoid the occurrences. Next, we move on to identify the purpose of our initiatives and to whom we are targeting our strategy to address the seriousness of the problem, aiming to highlight the cyber threats and promote the importance of the cyber protection. Well, our initiatives or the positioning are to raise the awareness of the audiences on the impact of cyber threats by educate them to exercise proper online behavior to overcome the adverse situation. Most importantly, we would like to promote the ethical value to sustain the harmonious online environment without exploiting the benefits of information democracy. Now beforehand, we need to identify the segmentation based on the past and the present behavior, subsequently to anticipate the influential factors that form such behavior. Therefore, we will develop a model to be adopted in our marketing strategy that targeting to encourage and change the desired and undesired behaviors. Finally, an IMC strategy will be developed to establish two-way communication to convey the campaign message to targeted audiences. Now, in this study, we are using the theory of interpersonal behavior to initialize our segmentation and targeting approaches. Thereafter, to use various marketing strategies to change the behaviors effectively. So we can see from this part of the attitudes, effects, social factors, and past behavior, we identify what is intrinsic and extrinsic motivation to come up with our segmentation, followed by the targeting, and at the facilitating condition, we are trying to see how we are able to apply various marketing strategies to change the behavior. Let's start with the first segmentation. Well, in year 2014, within the region of the Southeast Asia, 31% of the adolescents below 20 years old in Malaysia already have accessibility to internet using multiple devices. Most importantly, the usage of the internet-connected device are under low supervision from parents or guardians. Further, to users range of pre- and schooling adolescents, hypothetically, these groups of children, regardless of gender, have less self-control on using devices, assuming parents or guardians mostly use it as a parenting tool, that encouraging the adoption.
Sometimes we like
Moving to the older generation, adolescents who are in a secondary or higher and a higher education level have extensive online experience. However, their online behaviors are tending to focus on entertainment rather than educational one. Well, based on the TIB model, we are summarizing the major motivators for adolescents that trigger intentions to practice such behavior. Majority of them are tending to stay connected with the social circle and a more emphasize on the digital content consumption. Although a high proportion of people realize their responsibilities in practice of proper behaviors online, however, more than 50% of them having a misconception of they are safer in digital world without showing their true identity. Next, I will pass it to my associate member, Ms. Eleanor, to continue on the next segmentation.
Thank you, David. Right, I will go on to my next segmentation. As you can see, I would like to segment our parents and guardians category into habit, income, and living area. And as you can see, 8 in 10 children from the age 14 to 17 actually have access to the internet and they are actually going online. And 81% of the people in developed countries actually use the internet for, let's say, homework and assignments and all their other leisure activities as well. This has become a very apparent habit that will be instilled in, like what my associate has mentioned before, into the digital natives of the current digital world right now. And in Malaysia, whilst over 3/5 of the internet users actually reside in the big city areas like Kuala Lumpur, and even though 76.3% of the residents of urban areas have access to internet, only 56.9% of them actually use the internet in rural areas. So as you can see, people in the rural area have less significant access to the internet compared to their counterparts in the urban cities in Malaysia. Next, as you can see in the pie chart here, that the amount of parents that have children and think that they actually have a good balance between the internet usage and also their other leisurely activities are very, very high amongst children. And you can see that the percentage of distribution of internet users actually increased, as you can see that in the urban area as compared to the rural area. And also the income, as it is linearly proportionate to the income and internet users, as the higher the income of the family, the more there are the users of internet. And here we can see that what motivates parents to actually protect their child on the internet is because it is becoming a social norm that 92% of 13 to 17-year-olds use the internet in their daily lives. And you can see that in 2016, they are under age of 19, most of them are actually netizens. And also you can see that peers' behavior, personal vulnerability, and risk images contribute to the motivation of parents because they do not want their child to fall under the hands of the predators that will harm them. And also any risky images that will be online, the parents should avoid their child keeping in contact with all these harmful images. Next, I will give it to my associate.
Well, next in our targeting strategy, we are adopting the health belief model to summarize the most effective influential factors that contribute cues to action in order to change the behaviors. Well, for adolescents, we are targeting based on the age level, education level, and with the past experience. For parents and guardians, targeting based on the income level, living area, and the connectivity will be adopted to create and encourage action to practice internet security. Well, in this summary, we have identified the keys of the perceived vulnerability, benefits by consider the perceived barriers. Ultimately, we are aiming to enhance the self-efficacy power to trigger the self-protection mechanism as a cues of actions. Well, this section we will elaborate the next theory of the behavior for the next segmentation.
Right. Thank you, David. I would like to use the prototype and willingness model to understand how parents can actually change the behavior of their children in order to keep their children safe on the internet. As you can see, they have to understand the factors that influence the intention of their children when they go online and surf the web. And as I have mentioned before, personal vulnerability, risk images, and also peers' behavior are very strong influencing factors to form intention and willingness to go online. So in order to change their behavior, parents have to use operant conditioning to form habits within their children to form actually safe behaviors on the internet. As you can see, using the prototype willingness model, the behavioral change process starts from when the parents understand their children, and when the parents understand what influences their children, let's say the lack of attention from their children, or what their children's friends are actually doing. And then the parents have to strategize on how to influence their children using maybe their own actions in the house, using less internet or using less mobile devices, and then eventually forging the intended behavior within their children when they use the internet. Forming habits is one of the crucial part of the behavioral changing process. One of them will be to create rules and create habits within their children as to always constantly ask permission from their parents before downloading any of the apps on their mobile devices, and also to get familiar with the internet etiquette online from their parents and not be so close up as to why they want to use the internet. Next, I will give it to my associate.
Yeah, in this section, we will elaborate our marketing objectives, models, and strategies in corresponding to the marketing mix. Well, the 3 years marketing objectives are focusing to create and arouse awareness of awareness of security, followed by education and exercises of cyber protection through information reception, eventually practicing constantly to form a worry-free online environment. Well, therefore, we are proposing to use the inquiry and the progressive education model of John Dewey to educate and to apply to learn knowledge against the cyber threats. Well, in order to form new experiences, so they are able to aware that how important of the internet security for all audience. But in terms of product, we are encouraging children and parents to use the online assessment tool as offered by the government to understand the cognitive and the cognitive level of children. Well, second, we would like to hold the physical and the digital social campaigns to arouse the consciousness of audiences on the impact of cyber threats, as well as illustrate the protection steps to defend themselves. Next, we would like to encourage the use of the tools to practice periodic scanning of the devices to eliminate any intrusive acts of criminal and strangers. When the next marketing mix, the price, in this proposal, we would like to highlight the ultimate values to audiences against the cost. All benefits derived from the tangible and intangible attributes come with physical and psychological costs. So audiences are required to evaluate the worthiness of these benefits based on the perceived cost. Eleanor?
I will explain the remaining of the other 4 P's. The next would be place. As you can see, the parental control tools can be used in 3 places mainly for the sake of the children, which is educators in school and universities, cyber cafes, especially when children are having their leisure time alone outside of school, and also especially at home, where parents are busy working, and because both parents are busy working and none of them are at home guarding their children, parental control devices are especially important in the sake of keeping your child safe from the internet. Next would be promotion. Here we will use the integrating marketing chart, and we will see that different channels are used to target different yearly objectives as explained by my counterpart David. As you can see, we will use offline channel, digital channel, website, mobile, and also PR events. Integrate them together in order to get the best results from our parents to use the parental devices, parental control devices. As you can see, guerrilla marketing, database marketing, social campaigns are all in order to create awareness that is needed amongst parents to keep their children very safe from the internet and not land in the hands of predators. Right, and here we would like to conclude our slides. Thank you, Mr. Joaquin, for your time, and thank you.
Thank you.